Okay, people, we're here with Mr. Mitchell, a victim of police brutality, and this is part two from a series that we started 8 years ago. How you doing, Mr. Mitchell?
Samplify.
Introduce yourself, and we're gonna continue our interview. Part two was the extent of part one, which was 8 years ago. But we want you to update. Why don't you start out by um because the number one series gonna kind of give everybody an introduction to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So from that 8 years,
Well,
when you update and tell everybody what you've been doing and how things have been going with you as far.
basically, I'm just trying to get some justice from this police brutality case that I have going on here. And I've kind of been in hiding since I got threatened by a certain police
Now,
officer.
when you say you was in hiding, you ain't actually been in hiding, but you more or less
I've
been in the background trying to keep
low.
a low profile
Yes.
because you're out here in the public legally.
Yes.
You're not trying to hide from anybody because you're not a fugitive.
No, I ain't no fugitive.
Yeah, but you're trying to keep a low profile
and I'm gonna
because
tell you why I'm trying to keep a low profile.
that's what we want to know. We don't want to say that.
You see,
The
last time I was picked up on a warrant. It was partly for driving with a suspended license, and then they found out that I had a warrant. Now, the warrant was for a head injury victim fee. Now, 8 years ago, when we did this interview, my main thing was, what kind of sick joke is this? How can they put a warrant out
for
injuries that Stephen Hill did to me?
That they caused on you. They portrayed it on you.
Yeah. And if the Springfield Police Department, and you heard me correctly, the Springfield Police Department, if they were not arrogant in their actions, they would have saved the city $350,000.
Can you explain?
All right, I'll explain what that means. All right.
The scenario.
Stephen Hill, a reckless, dirty cop in a Springfield. Then, he pulled me over upon a traffic stop one night. And him and his boys beat me into a coma. Broke bones in my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is evidence on the first video.
And I got pictures,
Yeah.
police report, medical report. But the question I want to ask, like talking about all this police reform and all that, why was a warrant put out for me to pay for head injuries that a cop gave to me? And when I went to court that day, the Almighty was with me. You know what I mean? The invisible God was with me, because I stood in front of a judge known as Judge Broyle. He has since left us and went to the other side. But by the grace of God, he was a fair and just judge. Because when he heard what the courts were trying to do, he agreed with me and said, no, Mr. Mitchell should not have to pay for injuries that a cop gave him.
Yeah, which don't make any sense.
So I still want to ask the question to this day. Why was a warrant put out for me to pay for broken bones that Stephen Hill and the police department
Perpetrated on you.
perpetrated on me? And I still ain't got no justice yet. All right. You have to remember now. They held me. They arrest me. They cuff me. They beat me in a coma.
How long were you in the hospital? Because you was in a coma, so that means you were out.
Yeah, I was out. I was out.
You were
I
bad.
was somewhere else. Because I didn't feel no pain wherever I went.
Yeah, but as far as the documents say, how long were you in the hospital?
I would say about
unconscious.
2 days, maybe, more likely.
Okay, all right.
And when I woke up, one of the first things one of the police officers, well, he was the only officer in the room because I didn't even remember what happened. But the first words I heard when I woke up out of that coma was, "They did you wrong, man. They did you wrong."
Who said that?
The cop. He kept repeating that over and over.
Oh, because they had you on guard because you
so
technically, even though you was in the hospital, arrested.
Yeah.
So they had a cop there
watching me.
Watching, yeah.
Supposedly, Were
you in handcuffs in the bed?
Yeah, my ankles was cuffed, but I didn't even remember nothing.
Okay, all right.
So when I started remembering what happened, I found out that I had broken bones, fractured bones here and here.
Yeah.
My eyelid was hanging over my right eye.
Yeah, we got pictures from the last
So
video.
I couldn't see out of this eye, so they had to literally lift the flesh up.
Yeah.
And sew stitches from here to like here.
Wow.
So all of this flesh.
Under there is stitches.
Yeah, all of this is stitches right here. So basically, I'm scarred for life. All right. Not only am I scarred physically, this happened in 2008, and I'm still having dreams about this.
So you got post-traumatic stress.
And I can't turn the dreams off.
That's called, in the military fashion, when you come from war, and people are like that, they call it post-traumatic stress injury.
A doctor that I went to check my head injuries.
Yeah.
I think she's a psychiatrist or
yeah.
She does something to do with your head and all that. But she said I had PTSD.
Okay.
And she suggests that I leave the state.
Yeah, that's post-traumatic.
Because it's not safe for me to be here, which I more than likely agree with her.
Okay, when you say it's not safe, is it because the reoccurring dream, or is it a physicality where you could
both that and the fact that
the cops will be
the Springfield Police Department, a lot of these cops in the police department feel like they are above the law.
So you actually feel threatened by the cops. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an incident. The last time I was arrested, like I said, Judge Boyle was the judge I stood in front of. And this happened 12, 13, 14.
All right.
That's when I got arrested the last time. I've since been staying out of their way, more so because of the threat that I got while in a police station.
What was the threat?
A certain cop known as Officer Bob, while I was telling the EPM, them people that bring you in the ambulance.
Yeah.
The paramedic people, whatever.
Yeah.
I was explaining them what I've been through while in police custody in the past. A certain cop came from another room in the police station. At this time, I was standing in the room where you take the pictures. You have that thing and you turn sideways.
Yeah.
So, while I'm telling them what they did to me, he came in the room and tell me to shut up about that already. And he let me know if he was there that night, I wouldn't be here today to speak about it.
What's his name?
He let me know his name was Bob. Officer Bob.
No last name?
No last name, but the dates when it happened. I'll never forget it. It happened on 12/13/14.
Okay, so we could cross-reference.
Yes, and if they want to
Time.
investigate, they can.
They got, yeah, you can cross.
Another officer came in and had to tell him to stop talking like that. The other officer's name was Officer Deshane. He's not an officer now, but he was an officer then.
Yeah, but
he had to come because he overheard the conversation and he heard what the cop said to me in the police station. But the question I want to ask is, what give a policeman a right to threaten me to take my life over a traffic stop? After they broke, it's as if they break the law and feel like they're above the law. And the only thing I want is justice. I bring this question to the mayor of Springfield. His name is Mayor Sarno, with all respect. With all due respect to you, Mr. Sarno. But I would like to know, did you know that these things were happening and are happening in your...
under his watch.
Under your watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still ain't got no justice yet.
You ain't got no justice or any answers.
No answers. All right, check out the other thing now. Stephen Hill, that dirty cop, all right? He beat me into the coma, okay? I got out of the hospital, went to court. Judge Leroy, he's another good judge that was on my side. You know, he told me go home and heal up because he couldn't believe what they did to me. Stephen Hill beat me up 2 weeks before he shot young Giles in the hand. Now, if the Springfield Police Department had listened to my complaint, because you have to remember, I did lodge a complaint with Internal Revenue about this said cop, Stephen Hill.
And they did nothing about it.
Check this out though.
Okay.
I told them not to put him back on the street because he's a dangerous cop. Alright? I warned them. They ignored my warning and put him on the street, and it cost the city $350,000 because 2 weeks after he beat me in a coma, they put him back on the street. He shot a kid named Giles, last name Giles, in the hand. Claimed he seen a gun in the car. There wasn't no gun in the car. And it was another traffic stop.
Okay, we're back with Mr. Mitchell here. And he wanted to explain the next segue is to explain what happened as far as the court system. What did this thing go to court, that the police beat you, handcuffed you, and what did the court have to say about this? Did they have anything to say at all?
Let me tell you something, man. You have a word. Well, the word is what them have when people working together. Conspiracy. There it is. That's the word. It's a big conspiracy I got. Then, because I was ordered to come to court. Stephen Hill was ordered to come to court. His boys was ordered to come to court. A couple of them showed up. But the main cop, Stephen Hill, because he was the one who pursued and did the arresting and everything.
Yeah.
He ain't never showed up. So I want to know, why is it when a judge says you have a certain date to come to court, why is it a police officer don't have to obey the judge? But regular citizens like myself better obey the judge or else. I mean, where's the justice there? Because he ain't never showed up to this day.
Now, if they have an appointment with a judge, that's law.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But I guess it ain't so, my brother.
Not in Springfield.
Well, definitely not in Springfield, Massachusetts.
So it seems like there's two standards.
In Springfield, Massachusetts.
One for the regular citizen and one for the police.
You have to remember this, you know. Before my lawyer Perman Glenn was mysteriously killed, they claim he ran through a window. Anyway, Perman told me they're going to try to cover it up. Before Perman left to go on his vacation, for some strange reason, we had this conversation. He said, Mr. Mitchell, hey, go to police support. Be safe until I get back.
To those that don't know who Perman Glenn is, can you explain who this individual is?
Well, Perman Glenn is what I would call one of the first defenders of victims of police brutality.
So he's a lawyer.
Yes, sir. And he was not liked by the Springfield Police Department, if you know what I mean.
So he had a history of defending
people who got brutalized by the cops in Springfield and winning. He was winning.
And winning his case.
Winning these cases. Because you have to remember now, the Stephen Hill Giles case.
That was Perman's case.
That was Perman's case.
And he won.
And he won. But you see, a lot of people don't know that my case was before the Giles case. But this big cover-up seems to evolve over my case for some strange reason. And it's the same cop. The same cop that shot the Giles in his hand is the same cop that broke bones in my face and put me in a coma with his boys. Ain't no charges ever been brought against them. How's that? Where's the justice?
That's a weird scenario.
And why was like I said before, the courts is in cahoots with the police department in Springfield because
therefore
they put a warrant out to arrest me for injuries
that they caused.
That Stephen Hill and his boys gave to me. And I got these injuries for life. I'm scarred for life. What about my justice? And you know, in cases like this, justice is financial, you know what I'm saying? So what about my financial justice? Why is it Stephen Hill was not brought into court like any other citizen would be brought into court if they did not show up? He ain't never showed up to this day. Things that make you go, And then they put a warrant out for me to pay for the injuries that he gave me.
You're gonna we're talking about the police not showing up in the court after being subpoenaed or summoned by the court to come hear your case and figure out what happened that night, but they didn't show up at all. So what do you think about that?
I want to know, why is it that cops seem to be exempt from the laws that we who get beat up every day by the cops have to abide by? Now, if a judge tells me or any other citizen to show up to court, and if we don't show up, they come kicking off our doors wherever the address is and drag us into court.
There's consequences.
There's consequences. How come these consequences are not applied to the Springfield Police Station and the Springfield Police Department? You know what I'm saying? It's as if they are above the law, and then they tell people that we're doing all this police reform. That's a big joke. Y'all ain't never punished Stephen Hill and Officer Bob threatened me in a police station in Springfield. Now, for a cop to have the, you would say the balls then, or the, he just know he could
do that and
get away with it. Why do these cops in Springfield feel like they're above the law? And I bring this question to Mayor Sarno and to the President of the United States of America. I serve this country. I put my life on the line for this country. Why is it I have to live in a city in the country that I put my line and my life up for? And I have to live basically in hiding because cops feel like they're above the law. And they have no consequence to pay when they break the law. And I always thought that
they're there to protect, serve and protect.
They're there to serve and to protect. And also, you cannot break the law to uphold the law. Once you break the law to uphold the law, you are worse than the criminal you trying to lock up.
Yeah.
So, another thing I know is this. This was nothing but injustice. And injustice in one place is a threat to justice in many places. So why is all this allowed to go on in Springfield, Massachusetts? And I still can't get no justice. And they broke bones in my face. Right now, they did a test on my back a couple months ago. And they found out that I got something known as severe arthritis. Severe arthritis. They did another test to find out the dates of the injuries that I got in my back. Because at the time I couldn't even remember how I got arthritis in my back.
But it correlates to
the time when I got beat up.
Okay.
So basically, I'm sentenced to broken bones in my face for life, severe arthritis in my back for life, and I still ain't got no justice. And Stephen Hill was nowhere to be found. Still. The rest of his boys is still out there doing whatever they do. Still. Springfield Police Department ain't did nothing to give me any justice for what they did to me. Still.